Okay, so bit of a change of direction here, mainly to do with the engine. So this is another bike, bought another ZSB. This one's pretty complete, and you know, what can you say? I'm not going to go into details, but anyway, so what I really want is I want to use the engine. So it is the fuel injection motor, so we just need to make this work for the Carb bike, so I have to swap all the alternators over, whether that's possible I don't know. So the thing to do here is just to strip this down a bit. Let's see how it is. It's a pretty good bike. It's got a lot of the parts on that I'm missing, which I'd have to buy. So it's just sort of a no-brainer really. It's going to cost me about 200, you know, going to the sums here. It's going to cost me about 250 quid to fix the engine I've got. I bought this bike for 300. So I can save myself a couple of evenings work. I quite like rebuilding engines, but I can sort of do that. Still rebuild that engine. But I've got this motor. If I can make this one work, I'm tempted to strip everything I need off this bike and put it on the other bike, and then rebuild this one. So this will be the next project. But let's just see how it is. Griff's come to check things out, haven't you, Griff? Griff? What do you think? No? You're off? Where are you going? I think it's just a flower. Anyway, so that's the deal. Let's just strip this down. Let's see if we can get the alternator swapped over and see if this is going to work. And if it is going to work, we'll transplant the motor into the other ZSB. As you can see, we're sort of seem to be multiplying in ZSBs here. So, well, whatever. Oh well, it's better than watching the telly, eh? So as part of trying to get the fuel injection motor to work, I might have explained this already, so I apologise if I'm repeating myself, but trying to get the fuel injection motor to work with the TCI car bike is I need to swap the alternator over. Now the rotor looks very, very similar, so but I'd rather swap it if I can. So I've got the TCI rotor there. I just need to get this rotor off. It looks the same, the threads are the same, but it's been rather stubborn really, so I think it might need a little bit of heat on it. At the moment I've tried bashing the hell out of it. I've tried the rattle gun and nothing's happening, so just patience, and we'll soon have this rotor off and we can try it. We'll put the other rotor on, put the other alternator on and see if that's good. Okay, so I'm thwarted a bit here. I can't get this rotor off, and the reason why I can't get it off is I can't really lock the engine up. Try bits of wood, try standing on the brakes, nothing is going to do it, so I'm just going to break something. So I think what I'll do is I'll take the motor out. I'm pretty sure the flywheels, the rotors are the same. I confirm them up, and the only difference in the rotor I can see is that the metal trigger on the rotor is slightly longer. It's actually about twice the length, and the full advance mark's in a different position. Now the full advance mark's nothing to do with the rotor, that's set by the ignition, so it's not the trigger. So I'm tempted now to put the other alternator cover on, put it all back together again before I break something, take the motor out, put it into the other bike and try it, and if it doesn't work I'll just have to buy the proper tool to take the rotor off. So it's going to hold me up otherwise. I have to wait a week to get this. I'm going to have this hanging around for a week, and I'd rather not just have it open lying around for a week. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in. Look, if it doesn't work I can just have to take the motor back out again if it's never going to work. But you know, if it doesn't work we can try it with the other rotor, and we can see what happens. Anyway, it might be worth actually having a look at the wires and just seeing if we can trace the wires back and just work out exactly what's supposed to be going on. But I think what we'll do is we'll take the engine out and put it in the other bike. Right, so the motor's out, giving it a bit of a clean down. I think what I'll do is I've drained the oil already. The oil was nice and clean, and there's no bits on the magnetic drain plug, which is a really good sign. I think I'll take the strainer out next, check the oil strainer, and then I will check the plug and I will do the tap it while the engine's out, because it'll be loads easier. So we'll do all that, and maybe we can get the motor in tomorrow. Right, so it's all nice and clean. Okay, always remember when you're cleaning this out is to blow it out from this way, and just a nice rag, and just give it a real good inspection, make sure it's dry. Don't forget it goes in the opposite way, and you think it doesn't go in that way, it goes in this way, like that. Okay, push it down, okay, and a little spring over the top, and the cover, so make sure the cover's all nice and clean. It is pretty clean inside, so I'm happy with that. Let's pop that on. fasten it up. Don't use an adjustable spanner like me, unless you're a plumber, and then you can use an adjustable spanner. In fact, never use a normal spanner if you're a plumber, or the proper spanner for the job. Always use an adjustable. Okay, I'll just tighten that up, and I will go and fetch a proper spanner for it, proper ring spanner. So what I've done is I've swapped, because the case on this alternator case was so much better on the new bike than on the project bike, I've swapped all the internals over. Now to do that, you have to be a little bit clever with the connectors here, so I have to just spring the connectors here. That won't focus. Spring the connectors and do it, I can put them back on. And there was a little bit of damage to some of the wiring here, which I'm now going to repair. My hot air gun is dead again, so I need to sort that today. I want to put this cover back on. I need to just pop on the flywheel bolt with a bit of Loctite, get that tight, and I can assemble that. And there's a good chance we'll have to get this motor to run soon. See how well this is made. I'm super impressed with this Chinese engine. The more I work on it, the more I'm impressed by it. Oh well, the alternator cover's on. There's actually a bolt inside here. There's another bolt under here, and there's 3 along the bottom. It's really well held on. You can see the reduction gear here for the starter motor. Little tiny needle roller bearings in it. And as for the reduction gear itself, really nicely machined, beautifully machined, very fine tooth gear to go on the starter. And you can see on the cover, it's recessed to take an O-ring. No paper gasket here. It's properly machined. So it's machined here in the reduction gear, and then the proper O-ring on it. Quality. Right, so the engine's in. I'm really happy with that. We tried it all out, worked it, we got all that cover on. I'll give it a quick spin over, and we've got a spark. So I am super pleased with that. That is really good, and the bike is looking great.